Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host and runner mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey, thank you, Omari, for having me back.
Yeah, yes.
Love coming in, love doing this. Yeah, right off the heels of last week, I think was a great episode, one of our best conversations we've had. I'm super excited to get going. We'll talk about it, but this one was good.
All right. Cool. Yes, that's right. This Guy Hasn't Seen. It's our little podcast where we trade movies and stuff back and forth, somewhat like a movie club of the week. It's a great thing. We both suggest you do so with your friends. Don't necessarily have to make a podcast about it, but it's a fun little thing to do. And this week we are doing something that I was suggesting to Bill. It's an anime film, Redline.
Redline from 2009, a story about the most popular racing event in the galaxy, the Redline, and the various racers who compete in it. It is directed by Takeshi Koike, written by a bunch of wonderful folks. Depending on which version of it you listen to, it is cast starring many wonderful voice actors.
Yes,
I listened to the English dub.
Yeah, as did I. We watched the English dub this time, and
I thought
it was
great voice cast.
Yeah, Patrick Seitz was the main character, JP, and I forget the name of the main female, but voice actress, but she's in a lot of stuff
Michelle Ruff.
Michelle Ruff, yes.
Sona Shi. And then there were also several members of the Critical Role family. If you follow that YouTube sect of the internet, so it was really cool to see them in the IMDb credits as well.
Yeah. So Redline, and so I brought this up because when we started this, I knew immediately that, hey, my list of things to recommend to you was not going to be as big as yours to me. And I was like, that's it, unless I go into some things like anime movies and stuff like that. But I had not seen a lot of the classic anime movies, or the ones that I had you had already seen, like Akira and other stuff like that. So I was like, all right. So I asked a buddy of mine who hasn't been on the show. Maybe I can get him to come on here at one point. I asked a buddy of mine to suggest some anime movies to me, and he suggested Redline because he's into racing and stuff. He showed me the poster. The dude had a pompadour. I'm like, so this is why you like him. And with the main character being voiced by Patrick Seitz, who is also one of his favorite voice actors, I was like, this is why he likes this movie. Okay. So I earlier this year, so I asked you if you had seen it. You hadn't, so I put it on a list of need to watch. And a couple months ago, doing some traveling, I'm like, now's as good a time as any. I need something to watch on the plane. Let me watch this Redline movie to see if I could bring it up. I remembered being, like, oh, that was actually a pretty fun movie. I'll keep it on the list. And so last week I was like, we got a little heated talking about Do the Right Thing. And so like, let's have a more like chill movie afterwards. Redline. So I told you it was an anime movie, anime racing movie. What were you expecting?
I know I've never seen them, but I know of the anime genre that is just like sports.
Mm.
Like I would assume what I know of mostly in series form, but I know that there's like a really good, famous, well-known volleyball series. There's several baseball ones. There's a really popular basketball one.
There's a pretty good soccer one that came out recently.
So I was kind of expecting the NASCAR Formula One kind of movie, but in anime, like a Days of Thunder, but anime is kind of what I was anticipating from this.
Instead, you got F-Zero.
Yeah, a lot of it was a surprise.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's cool. I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it. Like initial reactions, movie starts up. How we feeling? What are some of these initial reactions?
So when it gets going, I mean, the first note I have here is, do I fucking love this art style? I'm just into it. Obviously I'm getting okay. This is otherworldly. Okay, we got like in the first scene, whatever, the planet or they're and maybe I wasn't watching hard enough. I did do it like right when I got home from work. But I feel like they weren't really specific. They weren't really telling you a whole lot of like
the world building wasn't
where we are, what's happening, what's going on, why this is happening. But that's okay. You don't have to do that. I'm just stating that like I'm like, I'm left with questions of like, okay, these are other worlds.
Yeah. Only planet I really know is Robo World, and I've seen the movie twice.
yeah, Robo World is named, and people are shocked that the race is going to happen there, because it's demilitarized or it's not, and it is. But it's the piece.
So people are shocked because the leader of the world has strongly stated like how racing and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated, and they will bring down like the might of whatever onto anybody that comes there. So that's why people were dropping out like, I want to race, I ain't trying to get shot at. You can get shot at if you want to. That ain't me. But yeah, I like the beginning as well, and I love like you see all these people getting introduced in the first race with their otherworldly vehicles, and then we get our main character in a Trans Am. It's like, we got crab shot seed, we got so with that thing, and then we got JP, sweet JP in his Trans Am, and he's keeping up with everybody. So I was like, hilarious, but it was awesome. It was cool. I thought it was cool from the get-go. First race filled with some cool shit. It keeps
cutting to this guy that we end up learning is Frisbee. And he's and you can tell that like, shady, there's a shady aura going on to this scene that they keep cutting to, and the guy that they're only giving mouth close-ups is really weird. Yeah, and he's doing coke.
Give me my money, champ. I'm worried about my money, Frisbee.
The only thing they don't show is him snorting it. But yeah, they're absolutely depicting him doing coke.
He's brushing his teeth with it. Like if you've ever been low income enough to have to brush your teeth with baking soda because you didn't have the toothbrush, you know what I'm talking about. Picture that, but with coke. That's what that man was doing. But yeah, and sure enough, they're fixing the race, which I feel like, or they make it clear JP's in on the fixing of it, but he also still seems like he's fine. He's just as fine with winning. At least the first one.
Do they? because when he comes conscious in the hospital, he thinks that he blew the car out and that he just
No, he said
like that the car wrecked.
Because he puts the money here, and he's like, I changed my mind. Keep the money. I'm mad I lost it, or something like that. That was the first one. Later in the movie, no, he was not in on. He even said, don't do it. We can get engine some other way.
Yeah.
But the first one, he was kind of like, he probably agreed to, but he clearly, when he was racing, like, fuck this, I'm winning, because he wants to win. Because this is probably just something he'd been doing. But it was to get rid of his bail bonds for the time he got caught before. He was paying off the bail bonds so he could be free from jail, you know, and all that. Yeah. And yeah, we meet a lot of characters in the first thing, and the person who ends up winning because of the fix, Sanashi McPherson, aka Cherry Boy Hunter, a nickname that she does not like, but the media has bestowed upon her.
Not a fan
of. She ends up winning, and she also, spoilers, ends up being the love interest for the film. And yeah, but JP ends up getting qualified for the red line, like you mentioned.
Yep. His motorcycle
race.
on the tweener planet, whatever place they all go to like prep for the red line race. Yeah, that motorcycle is pretty dope. That's pretty cool. That like hover bike in the form of like a old American chopper.
I love how many times this man crashes in the film and it just ends up being okay. And all the montages they had to introduce the other racers and stuff, like the news piece. And in this side of the world, we've got so-so.
Oh man, yeah, that's one of my notes. I love the show explaining the racers. Yeah, no, that was great.
And like it sets up rivalries within the race between the other characters rather than everybody just hating the main character. It's just like, oh, this actually really helps the movie because it's like, oh, these guys hate Blue Gorilla or whatever because he arrested them.
Right. Yeah. And then you also had the random B plot of the one Robo World soldier who really wanted to take out those other racers, and also himself like dreamed of winning Redline, even though he was a soldier in Robo World. There's a little B plot that gets like 7 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, little Deshaun or something like that, or whatever. Dazida. Yeah, little Dazida. I can't do it, Captain. I gotta do it.
He's so weird. He's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo.
Just always fucking crying. Machine Head's my dude, though. That dude.
Machine Head and his puppy. That's one of my notes. Machine Head and his puppy in that same television show explaining the racers. He's the first thing, and yeah, he's just sitting there stroking that like Pomeranian. But yeah, he's like, I'm gonna be a racer, so I'm gonna like turn my body into an engine.
I'm gonna turn myself into a car. Vehicle.
Yeah.
Machine Head. This fucking theme. Every time they play it, you just hear that. I was like, okay, yeah. If I'm in this universe, I'm a fan of Machine Head. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That dude's ridiculous. But yeah, we had the like restaurant scene where at first it looks like these two are meeting each other for the first time at the restaurant, JP and Sanashi, but we come to learn that Sanashi is pretty much the reason this dude wanted to get as into racing as he is.
Yeah. Like she's part of his origin story.
Yeah.
Which we never fully know if she's aware of that. Do we? Are we ever really told that?
I don't think she's aware of that, but she does know that she's known him for a while based on some other early interactions they had. Okay. But he thinks that she doesn't remember him at all. He's like, because he asked why she gets into racing, and she's like, why'd you get into racing? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. And that's when he reveals that, which I like that kind of take on the whole love interest thing, that the dude was motivated to race by the girl instead of the other way around. Because it's often done in anime or fiction in general that, like, oh, this love interest girl got into it because she saw you when you were younger and you were so motivated to be the best. I like that it was flipped.
Yeah.
And I like the way
that was a really cool scene. I love the flashback moment. And then you can, like, as soon as the waiter goes away, I don't love the hero. I don't love the pantsing of the waiter for my hero, but
No.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be a perfect person. They got to have some flaws.
I agree.
But the second the waiter leaves, there's obvious instant chemistry intended, and you're like you said earlier, it's like, okay, love interest.
Yeah.
Even though they're enemies, they'll be enemies on race day, but up until then, and
and then the fucking alien, like, getting in the way when they're like about to kiss, because they, like you said, it's instant chemistry, and they're just like,
right,
and this dude's just like, hey.
The like human lobster that then takes the lobster and eats it. Yeah, it's like shortly after here is when I start to get confused, and things are coming at me a little fast. I wasn't prepared to have to pay attention that hard. I don't know. Like I've admitted here before, I'm kind of a dummy. I'm a slow learner. If I could, I would make life present itself to me at 0.75 speed. So there are moments in this film where they start throwing out, like, everybody's angry, they're different creatures and they're different alliances, and like we got the Robo Wars people, and
we got the pretty princess magic chicks.
Yeah, like I still don't know how all of a sudden the restaurant got flooded with water.
Machine Head. I think it was Little Daisy that was talking shit and trying to fight Machine Head, and Machine Head just flexed at him, and the fucking glass broke and all the, like, aquariums flooded the place.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. But yeah, so and like, I don't mind it. I don't hate, like, because I also acknowledge that that's why I end up watching things a million times. When I enjoy something. Spoilers. I'm going to be watching this again. It comes at me a little fast, and I got lost a couple of times, but also I was not being a good watcher, and I'm sure there were moments when I had my phone in my hand or something, so that moment caught me by surprise. It was like, boy, it's getting all right. So we got that guy, and then okay, and then the flood, and then and
then suddenly the Robo World people were there,
right?
Colonel Voltron, and I was like, are they saying Voltron? They got away with saying Voltron, but no, it's Voltron. But yeah, him and the Robo World president just are such quote unquote villains. Like, the Robo World president, just the way his voice was done and just some of the way he was talking about stuff, I'm like, this dude.
Same with who's it, General Titan?
Yeah.
He's the really like nose up one of like, so yes. They were all really the three different, like, archetypes of those kind of villains,
which was very cool and nostalgic.
Yep. So yeah, so from what's going on before we get into the race?
Before we get into the race,
I know we like our love interests hang out and they kind of have a pseudo date almost. At one point they're hanging out, driving around.
Yeah, they have the pseudo date. She kind of, while he gets his car fixed and he gets some new engine put in because his buddy Frisbee ends up getting the engine, and the old man, who I keep forgetting his name, just kept calling him the old man. And he was he was a pretty chill dude. He's just like, you can't trust that Frisbee. Oh, I'll fucking do it. But they set him up with this cool new engine that can handle 3 caps of nitro, despite the fact that it's in a Trans Am and it shouldn't be able to handle that much. Story reasons. They just wanted to make sure you knew that. Also, Sanashi reveals she has a necklace of a steam light that's like super duper nitro if you want to use it, but it looks cool and it's very rare.
So far, the only person who is ever successfully using in competition is the number 1 rated racer in the Redline that they're about ready to go in.
Fucking machine head.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get some of those kind of things drop, some more exposition of why the racers don't like each other. Also, we see that the robo world has power issues, and they're worried about, like, if these motherfuckers come on this planet, keep them away from Sector Z. We don't want to mess with Funky Boy.
We can't risk waking Funky Boy. I immediately wrote that down. What? We cannot risk waking up Funky Boy. What? What?
It was fantastic. It's like, what the hell is Funky Boy? Oh, and we would eventually find out naturally. Yeah, also, Sanashi, see, in the news pieces about all the racers, there's a news piece that says JP had a rig race in the past that he got arrested for and stuff, and she's like, you think that's gonna... I also kind of like how they handled that too, because at first it looked like it was gonna be one of those things where now she's gonna treat him all cold, like, I saw what you did on the news, but instead she just straight up asked him, did you do that? Yeah, but this happened. It
was literally either I do it or they killed Frisbee, who was my best friend.
Yeah. She's like, all right, works for me. I'm like, hey, you addressed bringing it up and immediately moved on. A+. None of that, I forget, it's something in the third act. It's a trope, whatever in the third act, like, but like the disagreement in the third act type shit.
Right.
That happens in romantic things. But no, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to the planet, everybody just fucking...
I think the disagreement of the third act, like in the arc of their relationship, is at the start of the race. When he's like, hey, and she's like, don't fucking talk to me right now. No, we're competitors now. Come at me in 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah. Yeah, he walks away dejected. Yeah, that was the dip in the arc before they reunited.
The shut up, it's time to race. I
my final note before I was just kind of watching the ending, feels like Frisbee won't screw him over again, but maybe he will.
Yeah.
And then once we confirmed, it was later after I wrote that note that the video feed that old man is watching reveals that there in fact is a bomb underneath the car. I was like, oh damn Frisbee. I don't know, what do you think if old man hadn't shown up?
It was about the Oh, if old man hadn't have shown up, would he have pulled the trigger? I don't think so.
He was getting beat up at the time, and he could have pulled it, and he wasn't. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he would have. I think the trigger would have been pulled by one of them when they finished beating his ass.
Right, that's true.
But he wouldn't have done it because I think in that moment right before where he's like, "Come on, I just want to see him win for once. Can we not? I just want to see this happen, dude. He deserves it." And by that point, so that's why I'm like, nah, I think he would have went down. He would have had his redemption moment, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the race itself, lots of shit happened. Fucking Lynchman and Johnny in their car with the fucking chain. Only reason I know their thing is because they were another group that had like the singers like say the name when it cut to like one or two. They're like Lynchman and Johnny. I'm like, well, all right. And of course, the Redline race when it started too. Redline! And the fucking commentators. Hey, guys, this is me. I'm tweaking right now. I got a raging motor.
And then the really old man.
The old veteran racer that's just here to
the
see
old
the youngest.
veteran racer speech, who sounded like somebody. It felt like it was someone that I would have known. I scrolled through the actors, and I didn't. None of them jumped out as an old man voice. But yeah, it was. I mean, because that's just classic sports commentary right there. You got the ADD play-by-play dude who's on speed. And then you got the color commentator who's an old veteran of the sport, an old grizzly veteran of the sport to come in and give his color commentary. I thought it was pitch perfect.
Exactly. So that was hilarious just throughout. And yeah, Robo World Army attacks. Fast forward, y'all want the specifics? Watch the movie. But
they woke up Funky Boy.
They eventually wake up Funky Boy.
You don't wake up Funky Boy.
Oh yeah. They also tried to hit them with the hyper disintegrator cannon, and it broke immediately.
That was the other thing I didn't understand. Who the fuck were those people?
What, with the hyper disintegrator cannon?
No, the guys in the mech suits that had like the like.
Oh, that's that were
that were trying to wake up Funky Boy. Who the fuck are those guys?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like I didn't know if they were connected to a racer or if it happened to be a like we want Funky Boy awake.
Yeah, I was confused about a good amount in this movie as well. It just ended up working out, and I'm just like, okay, it's happening. I think the first power outage that allowed them to get on the planet that disabled the cannon the first time was done by the pretty princess, Magic Princess planet. Like their princess flew in literally using magic because they're like, right. We won't use magic in the race, but our princess can use magic to start it. Wait, what? Just literal magic.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And their competitors are absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of music, during their video segment, they are singing their international pop hit. They are singing their own intro music that is described to us as like the number one pop hit currently in the galaxy sphere or whatever.
It's hilarious. But yeah, so
the race is pure chaos. Like they occasionally we see somebody standing in front of a screen that's declaring a first through eighth, but like it's just it's just
There are
absolute
people
chaos.
that dig underground and come back up. Fucking JP's in last place for a while until he like pops his first nitrous and just starts spinning like a puck and bouncing around. Ends up in like second place.
Sudoshi, just like in the first race that we met her in, is like speedboat racing on whatever body of water she can find, and that just happens to conveniently be going like in none of the big other wide shots do we see like, but it's happening.
Yeah, and you know, Machine Head's being Machine Head, just being the figurehead. I love that he's the figurehead of his own car. Just. And eventually, though, you know, they wake up Funky Boy, and this thing is just this fucking big ass blob creature thing shooting lasers at everything, blowing
On
them
the
up.
list of things that I was expecting. No, you know what? Giant glowing monster who shoots a ray out of his mouth was actually probably like number 4 on the list. Yeah. I don't think I was expecting him to be like globby and that glowing.
Yeah. I didn't either. First time, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I didn't expect
I had
that.
a similar sentiment.
Like,
I'm like,
kaiju, I was kind of expecting,
yeah,
or something like that. But and like Funky Boy, I was like, how is this gonna like? Is he gonna be super stinky?
yeah. I was wondering about that myself because at first I was like you said, kaiju was on the list for me. I was wondering if it was like something not as big, but more like a Juggernaut, the X-Men character archetype, where it's just like, oh god, it's Funky Boy. He gonna fuck some shit up. But no, it was that. And it's like blowing shit up just...
and you know, I'm not gonna lie. There was absolutely a part of me that was not that was acknowledging the potential history of Japan anime with black characters, particularly American black characters that they're depicting, and how they could be pretty stereotypical. And so I was not going to be surprised if it was like some dude with a giant afro,
some disco inspired.
Funky boy. That would not have surprised me either.
Yeah, I think both of those were on my list before kaiju, but when I saw the kaiju, I'm like, I still wasn't expecting it like this. So yeah.
No, I'm normally not as basic as just like having a sprite on camera.
Yeah, right. That's okay. You're not the only one with the name brand on camera. There we go.
Normally I have something better like a Fitz's.
Right?
Or
Did I tell you I found a place with Fitz's down here and they didn't have the root beer?
Yes, you have. We've talked about that.
That is very
They had like the orange and cream.
They had Cardinal Cream.
They had Cardinal Cream.
Yeah, they had orange and another flavor that as well, but no root beer.
One Bite Pizza Reviews declared Fitz's orange soda a like 8 out of 10. Said it like he was trying pie. Rest in peace, pie. Did not give it a good score, gave it a terrible score. But while he was there, he ordered a Fitz's, and the hilarious part is like, he was drinking it, and he's like, "Oh man, well the Fitz's is great. Come to pie for the Fitz's," and he's on the loop at pie. It's literally like if he turned to the right and looked, I think less than a half a block down, the Fitz's brewery plant and restaurant is sitting right there. But yeah, you should just do One Bite Pizza Reviews St. Louis, and the pie one is he's drinking a Fitz's and loves it.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
because he doesn't like a lot of the He doesn't. I don't think he likes any of the pizza in any of our St. Louis trips. Granted, they were all during the Bruins Blues Stanley Cup playoffs,
And he's very Boston.
Yeah, and so he was already in town to hope his team wins the Stanley Cup against this city. So not to say that he was already like not to say they were already predisposed to disliking us, but
they didn't win.
Hey, his baseball team has gotten 2 World Series from us.
Yeah, Boston always beats us until then. So screw them. They didn't beat us that year. But no, they have a history of humiliating us on the biggest stage of them all. So yeah.
Redline. We're talking about a movie named Redline.
I go into it on another show. Anyway.
Yeah, we almost went down to a Whatever We Want episode for a second there.
But yes, Redline. So Funky Boy gets dealt with initially by the Hyper Disintegrator Cannon. Or something along those lines. It's hilarious. Yep. But that causes a massive crash, taking out a lot of the racers, and takes.
Yeah, the shockwave is insane. Shockwave is just as devastating as the disintegrator cannon.
And Sanashi's car is taken apart by both the Robo World Army and the disintegrated cannon.
But also, like you said, these people crash so many times and are 100% fine. In this case, our main characters get out of their car and push it over and just drive off.
And there's the gag that he's like trying hard to push it. And I didn't catch it the first time I watched the movie, but I caught it this time. Because she's sitting there talking to him. He's like, I'm trying to push the car. Should we race together? And he's like, should we race together? And when they finally decide to race together, she stands up. And so she was holding the car up, just sitting down. But yeah, so they decided to race together so they could both see the finish line of this thing, because it's both their dream to win this anyway. And pretty much it comes down to them and Machine Head, who just straight up challenges them like, sup pussies, you using that steam light or what? Shit, we are now. Damn right. This motherfucker eats the steam light.
He just eats it because he's the engine of his car. So yeah, he just eats it, and that's the rest of the race is just a battle of putting shit in your car that makes it explode. The rest of the race is a series of explosions to the finish line. Who can explode themselves faster to the finish line is basically what happens from here out. Like the cars slowly disintegrate until it's literally just our 2 main protagonists flying through the air, aiming themselves at the finish line.
And then, yeah.
They win by a pompadour.
Everybody's cheering. And then they're still flying through the air. And they're just like, I love you, Sadashi. I love you too, JP.
Yeah, the finish line is some sort of anti-gravity like harmony place. There's like really pretty chimey music going, and like I guess the pretty princess lady created it.
Maybe because I was like, happy ending, they kiss and stuff, but they're dead, right?
But they're dead, right? Because
they as fast as they were going, and their car exploded, and they're just still flying through the air. I'm like, so they just fall and die, right? But we end it because the movie just ends. There's nothing after that but the end credits. So I'm like, did they have a smooch and then just straight up die?
Maybe that's something we missed in the first race. That's just how all of these races end, is that there's a little anti-gravity bubble at the end of it.
Yeah.
To like catch your cars.
Yeah.
Because you're going at such crazy speeds by the end. But yeah, and it ends quick. Like it's like race over. Oh, we won. Kiss. End. Love. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Redline. Shit. So I guess what were your thoughts? Final thoughts? Right.
I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again pretty soon. I don't know how soon. Like, and I'm not talking like an RRR.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching it. Blah 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 blah. But I need to watch it again to reconsume it because it was real good. It was real good. Like, it's one of the better things that we've had here. I'm gonna put it up there. Certainly one of the better things that you've submitted.
I'm about to say that's good. That's a rare occurrence on this show.
No, I joke. I joke.
No.
No, I love this. The art style was fucking really cool. The one time that they were really fan servicey, they at least acknowledged it and called themselves out about it. Like, she was like, of course they would give just a shot of my ass. And then she sits down and she's topless. So it's like, that's the one fan service moment, and they absolutely call themselves out on it. So I really enjoyed this. I had a really good time. I'm going to watch it again to consume more of the world build aspects of it that I didn't catch in this first round. Yeah, I'm into it. I thought it was older than it was.
No.
If I'm honest, not to be negative about it, I just thought it was like a 1995 hand drawn thing, where it could be like a computer, like, you know how it's hand drawn still, but you know, in the computer kind of, and 2009 American version, I think I read, was released in 2011. So yeah, it was newer than I thought it was going to be. When I hit B at the end of the movie and it went back to the title card, and I checked the year, but I had a really good time. I enjoyed it. What'd you think rewatching it?
Same. I kind of like you were talking about noticing more on the second view. I feel like that happened with me as well. I personally, I went from being tentative about the thing, like, I'm pretty sure I like this movie, because I was on a plane, all this stuff. I was, and shit, I thought similar with fucking 47. No, 47 Ronin I chose because of the actors. Because I was like, good enough. But this one, I was like, yeah, no, I was more confident than I was with 47 Ronin. But watching it, I was like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I noticed more shit, like fucking them saying like the names of people with the songs and shit. And so that was cool. And yeah, the animation, I love it. So yeah, that was the Redline, or just Redline 20.
Redline.
Yep, 2009/2011 if you're watching the English dub. Redline. So next week, what we watching?
We are going to decide right now in this moment. We're going to take it back. We're going to go old school with it.
Back into time.
I still haven't decided what the movie is. These statements unfortunately apply to both the movies I was considering. I didn't think about that as I started saying this. It's still, let's go with funny. We are going to watch Young Frankenstein next week on This Guy Hasn't Seen.
All right, looking forward to it. If you want to see other stuff that we watched on this channel, go ahead and check it out. There's numerous playlists and stuff. We've been doing this over a year. We ain't stopping no time soon. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the channel Fail. Oh no, this is Fail Grande. You can find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast with new episodes every week, every Wednesday. I do it with a good friend of mine and friend of mine, the friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
That's right. You can also find me elsewhere on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is GIOTAVI.
Come on in. Stop on by.
Thank you. Maybe I'll tell you a story because I'm not doing it on Instagram. Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks? No? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Adiosness.